Hi, and welcome to Camp Happy Mail in 2022. Yes, this is 2022. All of this footage that you're about to see, at least the beginning part where I'm playing with the gel press, are from 2022. Why are we in 2022, you might ask? Well, this was my second attempt at starting a YouTube channel. This was back whenever I was still camera shy, or should I say talking shy, and I decided to just try to shoot some footage. We were also testing out some lighting and a camera mount, and I decided to do some quick gel press because I just felt like playing. And the hope was that I would get some good footage out of this to be able to use on a future video. And well, that future video is here. So the pieces that I made from this session of gel printing, I actually came across them a couple of weeks ago. And I couldn't believe that I still had them, and I vaguely remembered that I had shot some video footage for them. So I went looking for the footage, and lo and behold, there it was on an external hard drive with some other footage from back then that you might see at another time, but I may not tell you that that's when it's from. But my point being with telling you that this is from 2022 is basically just to tell you that, if there's something you want to do, like I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but if there's something you want to do, don't give up. Just figure out how to get it done. Sometimes it takes longer than you think it might. This being my second attempt, as I mentioned, my first attempt at this was back in 2018, and we lived in Georgia then, and we were actually getting ready to move to Pennsylvania. So we had got everything set up, and I was starting to film some videos. The quality wasn't really that great, and I don't know that you'll ever see any of those, but I was doing it. I was trying to get a YouTube channel started, and then life got in the way, and we moved, and then I didn't get back to doing this until 2022. And I had just started this video. I want to say this was February, maybe January of 2022. But by March into April of 2022, I had some health issues come up, and that caused me to have to stop again. So, they say third time's a charm. And when I moved back to Georgia again in 2024, earlier this year, I had the opportunity to set up a studio and to shoot some more. And I decided that's what I was going to do. And that's the YouTube channel that you see today. So back to this one from 2022. I used some Stampin' Up inks, pulled out my gel press. It's a 5x7 size, and that's just some scrap paper that I had. I really hadn't intended to use these on cards. I was just playing around. The gel press was fairly new to me at this point, and I was just testing out some inks on it. And so I made some prints, and on the back of those, that's some printed color charts that I had done up, and then decided not to use, so they became scrap paper. So I made a variety of prints from this session. There's some red ones and there's some green ones. Some of them have stenciling. Some of them don't. Some of them are not the greatest prints in the world. But in the end, we're going to use all of them. And because I did actually find that I still had these prints, yes, 2 years later, I still had these background prints, and there was enough of them, and I just happened to need a couple of more Christmas cards. We're going to make some Christmas cards out of some gel prints. So I'm going to put on some music and let that play through the rest of this gel print session so you can see what we made. I'll probably speed it up a little bit, and then we'll get to making some cards. let's go ahead and make some cards. I did pre-plan the cards for this before I shot this part of the video, just because I wanted to save some time. Out of all the papers that I made, I was able to come up with, so far, 5 different cards, and I still have these pieces left over that I will make into cards at a later time. But for today, let's just work on these 5. So I've got a variety of stamp sets here, mainly for the sentiments on them. I don't know what sentiments I'm going to use on these. It's just going to depend what the die cut space is or what the space is left for those. So we will decide when we get that far. Okay, card number 1. And these should all come together fairly quickly, hopefully. I realized the first part of the video with the gel printing was a little bit long. Techniques always take a little bit of time, and that's why I decided to go ahead and pre-cut all the pieces for the second part of this. And I know this is going to seem silly to put a white base or a white piece on a white card, but I wanted this stitching around it. That's the only reason why I'm doing it this way. That little extra detail with the stitching just gives the card just a little something extra. Now we'll do layer 2. What I should have done before I glued this panel down was to cut another panel out of the center of this to try to save some of that silver paper, but I didn't think about it before I did this, so we're just going to go with it. Normally I would try to save some of that paper for on another card, and I'm trying to get this centered down in between where those dotted lines are at the top and the bottom. That's not quite right. It's a little bit hard when you're not right over top of the card, but I don't want to get my head in your view. So we're just going to add some more glue to this because it's kind of warm in my apartment today and my glue is drying faster than I can get things put together. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, that's better. Oops, let's smudge up the paper here. All right, and then layer 3, this was one of the ones that we gel printed. And I did do that on just scrap paper, as you can see. That was actually a color chart from Altenew. And it was something that I wasn't using anymore. I decided to do it a different way, so I just put that in my scrap pile. And nobody will ever know that that's on the back of this piece of their card. Okay, and then this silver piece. So now have to decide, do we want this up a little bit further because we're going to put the poinsettia down in the corner? And I think we can center it and that'll be fine. Okay, before we put this down, I am going to stamp a sentiment on this. So now we have to decide what one we want to use. Need something that's more vertical, although we could make this a horizontal card, you know that? And then we could use maybe this one. This set has been used a lot. because I really like the sentiments in it. Do that, and then we could put the poinsettia down here. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So, but I got some marks on this that I'm going to try to get off. This is just a sand eraser, and you can use this sometimes when you get stray marks from ink or whatever on your cardstock. You don't have to press real hard, just lightly go across. Okay. I believe the ink that was used on this was Cherry Cobbler by Stampin' Up. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, and then we'll ink this up. If we can get the ink pad open. I struggle with these ink pads. I love the Stampin' Up ink, but man, do I struggle getting the ink pads open. Okay, and I think that'll work. All right, so let's finish putting this one together. And these ones, I'm just gonna glue them a little bit in the center and out on the petals a little bit, because I'm gonna offset this one. And I shouldn't have put it up on the petals. Okay, so this is just not a very good crafting day. Do you ever have a day like that? Do you ever have a day like that where you have in your head what you want to do, but things just don't seem to go how you want it to go? My whole weekend has been kind of like that. All right, and then we're going to pop this up on here with some dimensionals. All right, there is card number 1. Took us a little bit to get there now, didn't it? So let's go ahead and do the next one. Again, this card with the stitch border is the only reason why I'm actually putting a card panel on top of here, because I wanted that stitch border. Card number 2. Common theme with all these cards is they all have poinsettias on them. That's card number 3. Card number 4. Last one. This one was the frame from this one, and this frame was from this piece. So these two cards are going to be very similar in how they look. Difference being is the poinsettias on this one are going to have leaves. And that's card number 5. So these are the 5 cards made from our gel prints that we did. And I hope you enjoyed seeing the gel prints being made and then watching these cards come together. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.